This is a video for helping you get started with Cloud9 and Github, which we'll be using both of those in this class. Let's start with Github. What you're going to need to do is create a Github account. Github is going to be used for you to store your source code, and that's how you're going to submit your assignments to me, is by sending me your repository URL. To get a Github account, if you don't have one already, you want to go to github.com. And then click on, well actually let me log out here. So this is the home page, and you'll click on sign up and create an account. Make sure you remember your username and password. Obviously this is an account you're going to use a lot, not only at MCLA but after you graduate. I'm going to log in right now, and I'll come right back and we'll show you what you do next. Okay, I am logged in, and you should see a similar screen once you finally get logged in. You can create a new project or repository by clicking on the Start a Project or Start New Repository buttons. Either one will do the trick. When you click on that, it'll give you an opportunity to create a repository. This is where you're going to end up storing all of your code remotely. GitHub does a lot of things. We're only going to cover a few of them in this class because we're going to use it just as a storage location for your source code. Keep in mind, every time you push your code up to your repository, it remembers all of your previous versions. So if you ever do something you really didn't want to do, you can always undo it with GitHub. So you want to enter a repository name here. You can call it whatever you like. You could call it operating systems or whatever name you want to give it. Then you can give it an optional description, and it has to be public because you have to pay to get a private one. And then just click on the Create Repository button. So I'm going to make a test repository here and click on Create Repository. Once it's created, you'll see a screen like this. Keep this page up because we're going to use it in a minute once I show you how to use Cloud9. For Cloud9, you're going to want to go to c9.io, which is the website you're going to want to go to. And on this website, you'll need to create an account. And you can do that simply by entering your email address and choosing Sign Up. I'm going to sign into my account and show you what it'll look like once you get yours working. Okay, once you get your Cloud9 account set up and you're logged in, you'll see a page similar to this. It allows you to create workspaces. A workspace is a remote virtual computer that you have access to from anywhere you have an internet access and a web browser. And it has a Linux environment on it. You can develop Java code in, as long as it's not graphical user interface code that uses Swing. You can create your own Java code, Python code, PHP code, and so on. In this class, we'll be using it to develop Python and C++ code. And to create your workspace, you'll just click on this Create Workspace button. Once you're in here, you've got to give your project name, your workspace a name. And this has to be all lowercase, and it can't have any spaces. So I'm just going to call mine Test Project. You can't make it private because it costs money to do that, so choose public. And then you're going to want to pick a blank workspace. Once you do that, just click on Create Workspace, and in a few minutes, your workspace will be up and running. Okay, my workspace is ready, and as you can see, you've got a root folder here which contains all the files that you're working on. You have a nice editor here where you can create new files and program them however you like. You can run your code once you have something open by hitting the Run button. And down here you'll see the results and so on. Before we get started, I want to show you how to connect your GitHub repository to your Cloud9 workspace. So what you're going to want to do is right-click on the test project and choose Open Terminal here. This gives you a little bash shell that you can interact with your Linux environment. What you're going to do now is go back to that GitHub tab and click on this button to copy your URL, your GitHub repository URL. This is the same URL you'll give to me when you submit your homework. Then come back over and type git clone and Control V or Command V if you're on a Mac, or Control V on a Windows machine. And hit enter. And this will clone your repository. And you'll notice a folder with the same name as my repository is automatically created when I do that. This is where you want to store your code, and then I'll show you how to push it up to the GitHub so that you can have it up there for me to grade when you're ready. Let's create a little program first. Before we can do that, we're going to need to install Java on this repository. So let's do that next. Okay, the first thing you want to do is run sudo apt-get update. This will update the packages on your machine so that you have the latest versions, including the Java we're going to install shortly. When this is done, we'll run the command for installing Java. Okay, we're all set. Now to install Java, you want to execute the following command. Type sudo apt-get install default-jdk. This will ask you if you're sure you want to continue. Oh, sorry, hold on, I spelled it wrong. AULT-JDK. Sorry about that. All right, let's see if this asks me to continue, and then it'll install. Type yes, and this takes a little while. When it's done, you'll be all set to write your first Java program. Okay, we can test this by typing java-version. You can see you've got the latest version, 1.8 of the OpenJDK, actually 1.7 of the OpenJDK, which is fine for this class. All right, now we're ready to write our first program. And to do that, you can just right-click on your repository folder that we created a little while ago and choose New File. And let's just call it test.java. If you double-click on that, it'll open up in your editor. We'll just create a quick Java program. Okay, and we'll just have it print something. All right, save it. You can go to File, Save, or you can do Control-S or Command-S to save it. And then to run it, just click on the Run button, and you'll see it opens up a new immediate window, and you can see the output of your program right down here. There you go. You're ready to develop some Java. Now, what we want to do with this new program that you created, your test.java, we want to put that up into your repository. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on this folder and do an Open Terminal here. We're now inside that repository folder, the one I called testing, and what we're going to do is type git status. And this shows you what's changed since the last time you've put your code up there, and you can see there's two new files, and these are new files that we created, the Java file and then the class file. You're going to have to add these to the staging area so that you can commit them and push them. To do that, type git add --all. Now if you type git status, you'll see these are green because they've been added to your staging area. Now they need to be committed. And you can commit by typing git commit -m and give it a comment. The comment is actually absolutely required, and you got to make something up. It should be related to what you've just done. And this is just a new file for testing Git. But you can put something down like I added a new function or just finished my homework. Whatever might help you remember what it was you were doing when you did this commit. Now you're ready to push it up, and you do that by typing git push origin master. At this point, it's going to ask you for your GitHub username and password. That's a username and password you use to create your GitHub account over here. Enter that in, and then your password, and you should see the code zip on up there. Bam, it's up there, you're all set. We can verify that by coming back here and refreshing your repository page. And now you've got your code up here on GitHub. And then you can give me this URL right here, and I can use it to grade your assignment. That's it. That should get you up and running in this class. If you have any questions, just post them on the discussion board on Canvas, or shoot me an email, or stop by my office hours. Have fun.